Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amelia and I like to talk about politics and a bunch of other stuff. This week I want to talk to you guys about something that is affecting all of our lives every day, even if you don't know it, and that is the filibuster. I'm convinced that nobody really knows what the filibuster is or how it works, and that everyone just decided if they agree with abolishing or not based on like a few headlines and who else they've seen come in support of it.
It's me. I'm talking about me.
But I actually sat down, did the research, cracked open Wikipedia, read all the articles, talked to friends. I figured it out for you guys. I got to the bottom of what the hell the filibuster is.
You're welcome.
Now I can confidently explain why the filibuster is a racist, archaic tradition that has no business being in our government and literally ruins all of our lives. Let's get into it. The general idea is that Republicans don't want to get rid of it because it lets them have their crazy minority rule grip on our country that needs to be broken immediately. And Democrats want to get rid of it because it stops them from being able to get literally anything done, even though they were all just elected to office in our country. In 2018, Obama called it a Jim Crow era relic, and in 2019, Elizabeth Warren was the first Democratic senator to come strongly out in favor of abolishing the filibuster and made it kind of a big talking point in the 2019 primary. Over the past year, it has become abundantly clear that eliminating the filibuster is the only way Democrats have any chance of passing any kind of legislation through this Senate, which is why more and more Democrats have started to join Elizabeth Warren's side and come out in favor of abolishing it. So, literally, what is the filibuster? This is where we need to start. I, like you, had a vision of what I thought the filibuster was. I thought that I knew what it was. I feel like we learned about it in history class. I feel like I had a really good sense. But if I say the word filibuster to you right now, I want you to stop for a second and picture what you think that means. Just wait, take your time. Let me guess. You just pictured somebody standing up there for many hours, reading random things, going through all this struggle and hardship to make their point and grandstand for some legislation that was really important and they're trying to block it and whatever, kind of like this guy.
Whole parade of what man's carved out for himself after centuries of fighting. And I'm gonna stay right here and fight for this lost cause, even if this room gets filled with lies like these. And the tailors and all their armies come marching into this place. Somebody will listen to me.
No worries, because that's also obviously what I pictured, but that is actually not how the filibuster is working right now and hasn't worked that way for the past 15 years or so. The definition of the filibuster is any attempt to block or delay a bill by debating it at length. The only way to get past a filibuster is for a debate to last longer than 30 hours and for it to get 60 votes in the Senate. When I learned that, everything made sense. I don't know why I didn't realize that before. I had no idea that that's what it meant. That you now, instead of needing just a simple majority, 51 votes, in order to pass a piece of legislation, if somebody filibusters it, you need 60 votes no matter what. All you have to do to filibuster a bill now is to say that you are going to. So all of the whole talking element of the filibuster has kind of been eliminated, and literally what it comes down to now is you can send an email saying that you would filibuster something, yeah, I would go up there. I would stand for 24 hours, totally Rand Paul and all these 75-year-old Republican senators who can't stand for 5 minutes. All they have to do is send an email saying that they would do that, and it automatically requires 60 votes in the Senate to pass that piece of legislation. The filibuster used to be an extremely rare option. It was called a nuclear option. It was only for really, really important or controversial bills. It was most often used by southern states to end all kinds of civil rights legislation, hence Jim Crow era relic, but now it's being used on almost every single bill that goes through the Senate. All of this means that right now, our Senate currently has 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans. Kamala Harris, Democrat, gets to be the tiebreaker as the vice president. So, in theory, they should be able to pass whatever they want with a simple majority. But because everyone can filibuster every single piece of legislation, they're not going to get anything passed when they need 9 Republicans on board. There is almost no ability to form bipartisanship in the Senate right now. Anyone who thinks there is kidding themselves. So the idea of getting 9 Republican senators on board with any legislation is Absolutely not going to happen, which is why Democrats are really concerned about not being able to pass any of the important legislation they ran on in their election cycles, because Republicans are going to block it at every turn. As long as the filibuster exists, it will be nearly impossible to achieve any of the progress that we need right now on things like civil rights, gun safety, immigration reform, and so much more. In 2013, 54 senators voted yes for increasing background checks for private gun sales. But because it got filibustered and they only had 54 senators instead of 60, it failed. In 2010, the DREAM Act would have passed if it weren't for the filibuster. That has been holding us back from making serious progress on the social issues that we need to. But conveniently, when you hear Mitch McConnell and all these Republicans whining about the filibuster and how it's necessary and a tradition in the Senate and whatever, and how we need to keep it, conveniently, the filibuster doesn't stop Republicans from getting anything that they want done. And that's because of this little loophole called budget reconciliation. Budget reconciliation is a way to pass one piece of legislation per year with just a simple majority. But the only things that can go in there are things that have to do with government spending and taxes, aka every time Republicans want to repeal taxes for the rich, or when they tried to repeal and replace Obamacare that way, they can get what they want done through the budget reconciliation process. But things like Green New Deal, Medicare for all, those things can't go through budget reconciliation. So when you hear Republicans saying that they want to keep the filibuster, keep in mind it doesn't impact them at all. Classic. You must be thinking, wow, that sounds horrible. This is a really big problem in our government. I can't believe that this has gone on so long. I can't believe we've allowed it to control the way that we pass legislation for like 20 years. It must be like in the Constitution and really hard to get rid of or something, right? Wrong! It actually was invented in the 1800s, which again, classic, is not hard to get rid of. All we would need to get rid of the filibuster is a 51 simple majority vote yes on abolishing it. It is actually so easy to get rid of. It makes no sense. But that would require all 51 of our Democratic senators to get on board. With 50 senators and with Kamala as a tiebreaker, we could easily abolish the filibuster and then pass things like climate change reform, tax reform, Medicare for all, free college, canceling student loan debt, increasing the minimum wage, universal pre-K, DC statehood.
The opportunities for social programs are endless.
Then, Amelia, what is stopping our 51 Democratic senators from abolishing the filibuster? You might ask. Well, viewer, I would tell you, the thing that is stopping us is Joe Manchin. The senator from West Virginia has decided that the filibuster is a tradition that he likes. He thinks it keeps power balanced, which is insane, and he does not want to get rid of the filibuster. Same with Kirsten Sinema, senator from Arizona, who has been doing us dirty time and time again. Every time that I expect her to do something good, she just disappoints me. They both have come out against abolishing the filibuster, I guess because they don't want anything to get done in the Senate. Dope. Joe Biden come out in favor of going back to the talking filibuster. And Joe Manchin has indicated that he's on the same page, and that is mildly better than nothing. I guess the theory is that if you're going to actually require people to stand up there and talk, they'll be less inclined to filibuster. And again, when you think about who the Republican senators are, I don't know that they can stand up there for like many hours in a row and talk. These are old men. So I think that at least we can try that. That seems like honestly the most realistic option right now. It's at least making them suffer a little, right? Like if they're going to make all of us suffer at the hands of their ridiculous corporate donors, I would like to see them suffer a little bit too. Get up there, stand. Stand for 8 hours, Mitch McConnell. Let me know how that feels. And also, before you get too ahead of yourself here on wanting to keep power balance and all of those things, let me just ask you really quickly, what do you think Mitch McConnell would do if the filibuster did get in the way of something that he wanted? Do you think he would just be like, oh no, but the tradition, like power balance, we need to share power equally? No, obviously not. In 2017, he got rid of the filibuster when it came to Supreme Court nominees, and that's how we ended up with Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Don't listen to when Republicans act like this is some crazy power grab by Democrats and that Democrats just want to shovel their legislation through. Whenever it appeased him, Mitch McConnell got rid of the filibuster. I'm just so tired of Democrats giving up power in the name of bipartisanship. This is just not gonna happen, and we fucking need to get some stuff done. Like, it's exhausting. Anyways, that crisis aside, there are some things you can do about it. You should leave Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema's voicemail boxes full of you telling them what you think about the filibuster. Reach out to your senators. Make sure that they know you support abolishing the filibuster because that is the only way to get anything else done for the rest of this presidency. I will link resources down below. I will also leave contact information for how to call your senator. It is really easy, I promise. Calling your senators can be pretty therapeutic also. You can just call, leave a voicemail, tell them about whatever you want to hear. Somebody has to write that down, show it to them at some point. So you just let them know all your thoughts, but make sure you include abolishing the filibuster. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down, I guess. Leave me a comment down below or send me a DM at any of my social channels. Let me know what you think about abolishing the filibuster, and also let me know what you want to see me talk about next time. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications bell so that you get notified every time that I upload and so that you don't miss what the fuck else is up next week. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.